So, how is Sacramento holding up as an indie business town? Where is Sacramento's participation in the independent business revolution? That's probably the deeper question. I explored this question by trying to find out just, how many businesses are there in Sacramento that fit the small biz category. And I found from an article uh, from Sacramento Business Journal that there are over 40,000 small businesses, private companies in Sacramento. And that's from a 2012 report. It seems lower than a few years ago when I had explored that same question and found that there were over 60,000 businesses in Sacramento. But don't quote me on that because I don't know if it's really shrunk that much because you never know where these numbers come from. I read something from CBS Sacramento online that tried to say that Sacramento ranked 40 out of 40 regions for being a business friendly environment. And they did not quote a source, but they said that this was information based on a national survey from an independent marketing company, but they never said who that marketing company was. So I don't know if that's true, but you're always getting bad press online about Sacramento's independent business scene, that it's a unfriendly business environment. And we have seen a lot of local businesses go out of business, but I think that's more due to corporations coming in from all these big mergers in the 80s and 90s and really just eating up all the strip malls, and that's all you see when you drive around in the suburban areas or these strip malls. You don't see that many mom and pop businesses. You see a lot of chains, and I think those chains, it could be due to regulations that they were able to uh, occupy those properties. But now we're seeing a lot of those chains disappear. So there's a lot of uncertainty about the Sacramento business climate in general. But as far as independent businesses, it just seems like you don't hear enough about independent businesses, even though there are those that thrive that every now and then you hear about, but it doesn't have that image that paints Sacramento as a great place to start your own business. Now, I just want to wrap this up because this is not the type of video you would use for data mining. I didn't include that many facts, but the theory that I want to put forward is that you can start a business anywhere and be successful and use the internet to maximize that business. And what I want to impress upon people that are looking for work in Sacramento, or that want to make some kind of shift to a new lifestyle, is that you can use Craigslist and maps of the US and maybe even the world to find areas where there's economic growth and target those markets for whatever business you're doing online. And what it amounts to is the internet is taking over the whole business structure, the whole old myth that was true for so many decades, that business depends on three things: location, location, location. And that always used to mean a physical location. But now it's about an online location. As long as you're located somewhere online, it is possible for you to make business. And Best Buy, one of those big box stores, is now thinking about going private. That was the headline I read today in some of the financial websites is that Best Buy, which kind of got shredded as a box store um, in its competition with Amazon, has too many big box stores everywhere and too many physical locations and too many employees that it basically has a lower profit margin than Amazon, which doesn't have all those big box stores, but does have warehouses where they keep products. And so I think that's becoming the new business model: is use Amazon as your inventory, and that cuts a lot of costs right there. Sell those products by writing reviews about products, or just develop your own online business that might not have anything to do with selling a physical product. Maybe it's a digital download. But I do think these types of business models are starting to become very viable in the world in general. So I actually think the digital business model is going to not completely replace the brick and mortar business model someday, but I think there's a lot of momentum for digital businesses. As we've seen in the music biz, digital downloads keep going up, whereas CD sales keep going down. So that's just one indicator. Also, the big box stores selling books, I mean, Borders Books and Music, they didn't have their online business model up to date enough to compete with Amazon or even Barnes and Noble, who, put a focus on online book selling. And then you see Dimple Records, a physical brick and mortar. They're surviving in Sacramento, and they just opened a bookstore on Arden Way, a physical bookstore. But see, what they're doing is they're utilizing Amazon. So they are actually selling books online, and that has become a key to their business. So you can see that the digital business model is definitely becoming part of the big picture of this decade, the 2010s. So I will continue to explore the digital business model and how it applies to Sacramento in an effort to help Sacramento in its economic recovery.